What is going on, everybody? It's Oscar back here in another video, and today we're going to be doing round 2 of this mock draft. So just so y'all know, I'm making this right after I made the first round. So if you guys have any comments, just beware. We're going to change that for next week. But honestly, it's been a fun draft so far. Thought about doing some trades at the end of the round just to be able to get some teams in there, especially the Bills. But decided not to do that. We're sticking here with the first pick in the second round with the Texans. And you know what? This guy used to be taken number 1 overall by me to the Texans, Spencer Rattler. So, yeah, I mean, I said let's wait a couple years or try free agency. You know, the bottom line is that Spencer Rattler at the beginning of the second is a lot better, in my opinion, than Malik Willis at the number 1 overall pick. Spencer Rattler could bust out and it's a second round pick. You know, you could take that hit. You guys took a complete project in Davis Mills at the beginning of the third, which I don't think is terrible, but we all kind of knew that wasn't going to be the future option. So Spencer Rattler, I think, would be an excellent option. You can look at Desmond Ridder here as well, but I think Spencer Rattler is getting a little bit underrated at this point. It's worth taking him. Might as well take him. Have a good time. Spencer Rattler going to be able to be a contributor to this team. So you get KT as well as Spencer Rattler. I don't think you guys can complain too much about that. Now, you got the Jaguars here, and, I mean, I wish I could get you guys some corner help. I can't. So you guys got help on the offensive line. That's great. Looking at the safeties, though, I think we could still get some safety help, get something here for the foreseeable future. Daxton Hill is certainly something I want to look at. Offensive line-wise, there's not really much left. Charles Cross, but we already got our future at tackle. So it's a little bit rough. Tight ends a little bit too early. I don't think there's a lot of tight ends that have similar quality of skill. So I think we're beginning of the third. So next week when we do the third round, we can talk about that. But for right now, honestly, looking at edge and interior defensive line might be the best move. I think getting a guy like Zach Harrison could be a pretty good addition on the squad. Not really too shabby. Myjai Sanders doing a really good job there as well. I'm going to take Daxton Hill. I can't continue to disrespect him. I think he could be a really nice rangy safety. I know that we got Andre Cisco on the roster, but I think Daxton Hill is 10 times better than Andre. And plus, you can still work with multiple safeties. You got Rayshawn Jenkins there. That would be if we didn't have Rayshawn Jenkins, I'd look at Tyke Smith as a solid slot safety. Daxton Hill's of that caliber, but I think he could really play a roaming free safety role, and that's honestly what we're kind of looking for. If you guys want Jaquan Brisker as a heavier hitting safety, be my guest. I personally just think the best value is with Daxton Hill here, and again, you go after best player available. Daxton Hill to the moon. Number 35, you got the Lions, and yeah, we could look at a quarterback here. Again, it's a tough one for me because we could have taken Spencer Rattler here at 29. But, you know, I can't pull a trigger on Spencer Rattler when Chris Olave is on the board, right? Like, he had no no receiver to throw to. We already got edge. Corner, again, we already know it's bereft. I think this is a great spot to go Desmond Ridder. He's going to be a very talented starter. He's going to be a high floor starter. Maybe not high ceiling, but he's going to be able to command an offense quite well. He's used to throwing to his tight ends, which is great with CJ Hawkinson. TJ Hawkins, TJ, not CJ. I was thinking about CJ Henderson here. TJ Hawkinson, Desmond Ridder is going to be pretty damn good. So getting him at the beginning of the second and being able to get a solid edge at like DeMarvin Leal at the third overall pick, I think it's worth it. Honestly, I don't know how much worse Spencer Ridder is than Rattler. Legitimately, there's a lot of people that probably think Ridder is better than Rattler at this point. Number 36, you got the Jets. Jets, this is a perfect spot to get edge. You know what? Why not? Myjai Sanders sitting here. I would consider going after Charles Cross. I think that it probably is the better move to go with the edge talent here, but you can't go wrong with the tackles. I just think there's actually pretty good depth in terms of tackles. Not maybe for our second round pick we can choose somebody, but you know, you're going after premium edges here who are worth first round picks, not these dudes who aren't worth first. New York. I think a linebacker could be something that we should probably prioritize at this point. It's kind of weird. I would almost say running back could be something we look at as well. I think getting a guy who could cover would be pretty valuable. Devin Lloyd would be a really good 3-down linebacker. Henry To'oTo'o, I'm a big fan of. Mike Jones Jr. as well. We're going to go Devin Lloyd here. Brandon Smith's also a really good coverage linebacker, but Devin Lloyd's going to actually make a day one impact on a team that is kind of testing if Daniel Jones could be legitimately the future. So now you have, who do we have here? We got Aiden Hutchinson, Darian Kennard, as well as Devin Lloyd. That's a good group of players to be bringing in right there. Number 38, you got the Falcons. Falcons, you missed out on all the quarterbacks. You could still get a high-end receiver, though. I mean, Treylon Burks wouldn't be too shabby. He's a slot guy, but George Pickens is somebody I'm really considering at this point. But I think we can't look away from a guy like Drake Jackson on the squad. He could be that like Harold Landry-esque type player that you're looking for. The ceiling is undeniable. We're taking him. Drake Jackson, USC. Really did think about going wide receiver right there, but we're seeing the receivers fall a little bit, and I think that's okay. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. It's just there's players that are in a premium right now. 39, you got the Eagles sitting here, and it would be quite fun to get Treylon Burks as a big player or a big receiver on this team. George Pickens as well. Something I'd honestly consider at this point. Edge-wise, I think there are guys who are actually really good who could serve as that Derek Barnett role. Kingsley Enagbare being one of them. I think that would be a really good selection at this point. Interior offensive lineman, again, we already know there's not really much going on right now. Thayer Munford might be a really good option if Jason Kelsey retires, and you can move Landon Dickerson to center and then Thayer Munford, just keep him at that guard spot. Daniel FAALELE would be interesting. You could have him at left guard next to Big M, two rugby players, which would be quite cool. But honestly, we do kind of need to prioritize getting some extra depth here. BG is getting older as well. I think the best talent here is Kingsley Enagbare. It's just there's so many good edges in this class, and there's also a big drop-off to where I think you need to prioritize getting some extra. Like, if it was a first-round pick, it's like you don't need that. This is a second-round pick. This is somebody who's going to be rotating, potentially taking maybe BG's position. Kingsley Enagbare has those skills. He's a very talented player. I think he's like number 11 on the PFF draft board anyways. Really good player. You need to do certain things. With the Bears, they like their big-ass dudes. I'm stuck between two tackles here. There's nobody I'm selecting besides tackles at this point. The tackles are horrendous for the Bears. Don't know why they got rid of their tackles. It really baffles me. Nicholas Petit-Ferrari is, I think that's how you say it. I don't know. And Daniel FAALELE are my two options here. You can go with Daniel and just go after the monster, or you can go after Nicholas here, and he's going to be really, really talented. He's a very good tackle. So it's a tough one. Zion Nelson's another guy, but I can't. Like, honestly, Charles Cross, we need somebody, like they're drafting Tevin Jenkins, somebody who's pretty damn huge, plays a lot larger than he does. I'm looking at Nicholas Petit-Ferrari here. I just want to quickly check with you guys. You guys can look at this as well. I want to make sure that he doesn't have a terrible anchor, which might make me select him. I think the hype is going to be real. Daniel FAALELE doesn't have much in terms of like actual skill. And of course, my camera's been small this entire time. Gotta love that. Obviously not going to re-record because you guys can't see my face as well. Who cares? But I think that the potential of Daniel FAALELE at 6'8", 400 pounds, or 6'9", 380, depending on which year he is, he is up there in terms of just real talent. Now, we could take Thayer, but honestly, Nicholas, if I'm not mistaken, Nicholas has been starting with Justin Fields for a while. He is a right tackle, so that takes out the opportunity for Tevin Jenkins. So we're not going to be doing that, but just a thought. We could reunite him with an Ohio State tackle. Man, Daniel FAALELE is just so athletic. I'm going to take the upside pick right there. We're going to take the upside pick, Daniel FAALELE out of Minnesota. Steelers, we need an offensive tackle as well. Charles Cross could be a guy that we move to right tackle, but I'm not going to be doing that to my Steelers. I'm not going to have a guy who has issues with his anchor being their guy. This is where we're going to take Ferrari. I think I did it in my last one. He's a right tackle, very talented. He's been a top prospect since he was in high school. Get Nicholas Petit-Ferrari for the Steelers. We just desperately need it. You got our quarterback, Matt Corral. Dan Moore's developing. He's honestly not doing a bad job. I'm quite happy with how that turned out. And now you get Nicholas Petit-Ferrari to be right tackle. Chukuma Okorafor, I believe, coming up on a contract year, as well as always injured. Joe Haig's actually doing a pretty good job, but, I mean, you can't just have the 31st best offensive line. Like, you just can't. Number 42, we got the Dolphins. And I'm going to give them something they're desperately needing of. The most underrated player, according to according to TDN, Breece Hall. Breece Hall is a great player. I don't know how the wide receivers are not being taken right now. It's just these teams don't need it. When the draft order changes, draft needs change as well. And obviously getting a guy like Desmond Ridder is a little more important than getting a second wide receiver. Breece Hall, to me, is worth a late first. I legit almost regretted not taking him right here at 30. He is such a good back. Really good. Of course, he would be very similar to the style that the Bills already have. But he's just, like, if you watch him play, I don't know what people don't like about Breece. He's not of the caliber of the next year running backs, like in 2023 draft class, but he's a lot better than what Malcolm Brown brings to the table. Next, we got the 43rd pick with the Bengals. And Bengals, I would honestly consider going offensive line again. You know, tight end, again, this is where you can take something. I know Uzomah's been doing pretty damn well. But offensive tackle-wise, I mean, Zion Nelson seems to be something that they'd be interested in. I want to see his arm length, to be honest. But it's very weird. I think that he could be the starting right tackle for this team. He's athletic. I think he's pretty damn good. Like, I can't have Charles Cross in this division, man. He's young. I think he needs to go back one more year. He's been playing pretty well, but it's like, dude, his anchor is just terrible. You just can't deny that. So I'm going to be going Zion Nelson here. I think that he isn't as bad as the ranking says. He is a first-round quality tackle. We're going to take him. The Jets are sitting here. I'd honestly look at Charles Cross at this point. We're going on a tackle frenzy here, but I would legit look at Charles Cross. Just for the upside. Tight end, again, another thing that we could look at. Running back, we just took the one dude who I'd probably taken second. You know what? We're going to do it. We're going to tackle frenzy here. Offensive line is coming off the board fast. This is where these tackles should be taken. The teams that are desperate, that need help. Darren Mumford is a guard right now. That's why I'm not taking him. He's a really damn good player. Honestly, I might take him here. It's actually a legit possibility. We might go tackle. That's just the way this draft is falling. You know, there are some really good players on the board. I love Treylon Burks. I love Jaquan Brisker. I really like NAKOBE Dean, Jahan Dotson. These guys are really good. I'm just not finding the right spot for them. And you know what? I honestly think that, oh, man, like the Eagles could use help with that left guard spot. And Darren Mumford has that tackle versatility. Injuries happen every year to the Eagles. It might just be worth it. Running back's not a need. That's some bullshit. Linebacker is something that I'll look at. You know what? We'll look at it. Brand Smith, I just can't get on Brand Smith train. Mike Jones Jr. wouldn't be too bad. We don't need more missed tackles. It's tough. This is tough. Henry Teoto. I know that, what's his name? Broshmo is not really a huge fan of Henry, but like to me, I'm honestly a pretty huge fan. I really do like Henry's game. He is small. You do look at his size. He is, DeMarvion Overshown's 217 pounds. I didn't even like him in the first place, but Henry's really good. I think maybe his size will push him to the third because I don't know if we need exactly a will linebacker at the moment. And there's plenty of them out there in free agency. It might just be worth taking Brandon Smith at this point, though. He apparently ran a 4.38. That's kind of insane. We're going to do it. We're going to get Brandon Smith here. I think that fixing the defense, continuing to make it better is better than patching up. You have like Suamalu at guard anyways. Better than to take that. Now with the Washington football team, this is perfect for Carson Strong, dude. It's perfect. You wait, you get, and you enjoy. I think it happened last draft as well. You get to select a second-round quarterback rather than taking a shot on the third best quarterback at your spot. It's pretty simple. I like the pick quite a bit. You know, now you have an all-star as safety in Jordan Battle, as well as an all-star quarterback potentially in the future with Carson Strong. He's just going to offer a new level of play to you guys. So I like that quite a bit. Next, we got 47. We got the Patriots, and guess what? All the receivers are still here. I think, honestly, George Pickens is something that they're going to target, a bigger receiver, but Treylon Burks has been going off. We're going to be taking him here. It's ridiculous. Trust me, I think it's ridiculous. I don't even like this, but he's really damn good. At this spot, I think this is where we start seeing wide receivers fly off the board because slot is a little bit of an issue for the Vikings. Drake London provides that new level of after the catch and just height that the Vikings haven't really had. 6'5", and he's so good. I love Drake London. He's a top 25 player to me. So if you guys are like, oh, why are you underrating these players? I'm not. I'm really not. I think they're great. And speaking of, I'm not planning this out. George Pickens, perfectly to the Atlanta Falcons. Kind of forgot why they have a second round pick. If you guys could let me know on that, that would be great because I kind of didn't expect that. Interesting. Regardless, you guys can let me. Oh, that's gonna be the Julio Jones. Oh, well, there you go. Julio Jones is replaced by George Pickens, which honestly sounds a lot worse than it is. It's really good. It's a good pick, especially for financial capabilities. He has everything that you need for an X wide receiver. Big fan of that. Now with the Saints, y'all just don't need much. I think Zach Harrison would be he kind of projects similar to a Trey Hendrickson, and that could be something that you guys look after. I don't know if you guys are going to give Marcus Davenport a contract. He's always injured. Something that I'm a bit concerned about for your team is that, well, one of your edges is always hurt. I know you went in the first round with that cat. I'm bugging on his name too. He was out of Houston. He's been doing pretty well. So, it looks like it's not as terrible a pick as it seemed on that night, but, let's hold off on that. It's not like he's been the messiah of this defense or anything. Defense is really good though. I would be honestly looking at a guy like Roger McCreary at this spot. You can look at a guy like Tyke Smith, somebody who could play that slot corner role if you want. I know I'm pretty sure you got Chauncey Gardner and Good Johnson still playing that slot. So not a necessity at all. Just trying to find you guys the best value at this point. Another wide receiver wouldn't be terrible. Honestly, I might consider it because again, you guys have now 2 wide receivers if your number 1 decides to stay, Michael Thomas. So something to consider. Definitely. This team just doesn't really need much, and there are really good receivers on the board. Zach Harrison's the best talent on the board by far. I'm going to take Zach Harrison. He's big. He's fast. He has all the tools you need. He just needs to have a little bit more discipline in terms of his diet because he does look a little bit more chunky than strong. But he has a lot of potential, man. You got to watch out. He's a big-ass dude. And I think that's going to be – he's very long, lengthy, and explosive. And if he drops down to 260, just beware. This guy could be the real deal. He could be. He's young, too. You got number 51. You got the Broncos back on the board. Honestly, I think a coverage linebacker is something that this team needs. Alexander Johnson is a beast. Josie Jewell is a beast. Johnson's better as a blitz specialist. Obviously, Josie Jewell can be a little more of that run game. You need somebody who can cover in the pass game. I'm pretty sure with the other linebackers, you can accept Mike Jones Jr. having a bit of a missed tackle problem. We're going to get him. I think he's a great fit. He's excellent in coverage. This defense doesn't need much else. I think you guys can re-sign some of your dudes. And now being commanded with Sam Howell, you have more money. You have more money freed up. So I like that quite a bit. Mike Jones Jr. to the Broncos. Let me know what you think about Broncos fans. Number 52, you got the Raiders. Raiders, I don't even know what to pick for you guys anymore because apparently you guys are gods at drafting. Just kidding. Alex Leatherwood sucks. I still think we could go after a guy like Roger McCreary. It's just not worth it at this point. That's the problem with this draft is that there are there's big drop-offs everywhere. I would consider Thayer Mumford here. I know you guys have a backup guard that's performing pretty well. I'm bugging on his name. We could also go for a wide receiver. It wouldn't be that terrible to get a third wide receiver on this roster because you guys wanted John Brown and he decided to say, nope, I'm out of here. So with that said, you could be looking in the running back territory as well. Josh Jacobs obviously just came off injury, so he's not going to look as fresh as he should. He just doesn't look the same to me. It doesn't really make sense. But looking at what other positions we could do, we could look at a strong state. Honestly, Jaquan Brisker is so much better than Jonathan Adams. Is that his name? Jonathan Abram. Jaquan Brisker, he is also a Raider, dude. This guy can lay the wood. He's also a Steeler. He that Raider and Steeler big hitting mentality, which is what got Jonathan Abram selected, is perfect with Jaquan Brisker. He also deserves to be picked by this point, so big fan of that. With the Seahawks, I don't know if tackle's exactly their number 1 need. Also, I'm pretty sure that we don't have a tackle really left on the board. So that sucks. I would look in the corner realm here. Roger McCreary is the only guy I'd consider. Slot corner, because they had Akello Witherspoon. They traded for Sidney Jones. Damn, I thought that was a perfect fit for Tyke Smith, man. Tyke Smith would have been a perfect fit on this squad if it weren't for Sidney Jones being traded for. Roger McCreary is a must. This team absolutely sucks in its secondary. He is a really talented corner, but it's the only guy I'd take in the second round. He's the only guy I'd take. I don't know about this Pritchett guy. Caleb Evans is not worth number 60 overall. It's just like Noah Daniels has had injury issues. Legitimately, maybe my next guy I would take is Storm Duck. Seriously. So that should just show you where I'm at. At this spot, honestly, Brenton Cox Jr. wouldn't be a terrible target. Like, legitimately, that would be a good idea. Tight end wise, this is where we can start seeing guys come off the board, though. Interior defensive line as well. PERRION WINFREY is actually having a really good year. Oh, man, it's a tough one because you could also go Jahan Dotson here and add like a legit vertical threat. That'd be quite fun. Rondale Robinson is somebody, if we're going to get into the third round, he might be selected before that. He's going. He is unbelievable after the catch. This is a tough one. I think going tight end might be the best fit. Weidemeyer is having a bit of a lower year, so I'm not a huge fan of that. Jaleel Billingsley, it doesn't really fit what you're looking at in like Jared Cook. Honestly, this is a tough one to go tight end one on, guys. Trey McBride might be the best tight end in this class, and that's telling you about how up in the air the draft is. You know, Jeremy Ruckert is probably not your best tight end. Weidemeyer still might be the pick. He's having a bit of a rough year, man, but he might just be worth taking. Jaleel Billingsley, again, it says he's 230. He's playing at 220 or 215. He's a wide receiver. Josh Wiley is my guy. I love Josh Wiley. He looks like he's playing more at 250 than 235, but I mean, you can't disrespect the fact that, you know what, he's not getting enough targets. He's not going to be a second round pick if you're not getting any damn targets because he's tight end 2 on his team. I can't take a tight end at this spot unless it's Jalen Weidemeyer, though. I really can't. And the edge group, honestly, Brenton Cox Jr., he is actually pretty good. I do like Brenton Cox as a second round prospect. You see him, he is really damn good. I would say he's going to be a solid replacement for Uchenna Nwosu. Oh, you know what? We're going to do it. Brenton Cox Jr. here. I think that he's a really good edge talent, man. I would legitimately consider one other player at that spot. That's PERRION WINFREY. He could definitely play that Jerry Tillery role if you really want him to. But regardless, number 55. Oh, I'm sorry, Niners fans. You guys can't really catch a break in terms of corner because it's not in this draft either. Edge is not going to be here. I don't know why it's saying wide receiver exactly is a need. You guys, Niners fans, you guys can tell me all about that. But I know safety, slot corner could be something you guys target. I know you guys got some dudes later on in the last draft. Excuse me. Tyke Smith honestly is just worth taking at this point. It's just kind of worth it. Just take him. It's best player available at this point. Next, we got the Cowboys. Cowboys, I don't really think you need much. You really don't. I don't know if Michael Gallup's going to be there. So looking at a guy like Jahan Dotson wouldn't be a terrible idea. Again, looking at best player available. Their Mumford could play guard, though, and tackle. I think that versatility is something that is pretty valuable to a team that runs the ball a lot. And again, we don't really have any centers on the board, right? Like I'm not seeing like Alec Lindstrom. I'm not going to be taking him at this point. So I think the best player on the board is Thayer Mumford. Just get him. Be able to plug him in. I usually go guard right there, and that's a perfect guard. I don't know how well Connor Williams is going to be playing. Don't know if he deserves a new contract. Thayer Mumford is a very high floor player. That's a plug and play. He's plug and play, man. He's going to be great year one. He's going to be probably the best lineman out of this class year one. And that's saying something. You're getting him in the late second. Cards, you need edge talent, but we can't provide you with that. Sorry. We just can't. I'd look at Isaiah Spiller here or Zach Charbonnet. If you guys want like somebody to be a legit power, James Conner, he just ain't it. Zach Charbonnet wouldn't be a terrible idea. This is where I'm going to select Jalen Weidemeyer. I think that the upside is there. Actually, Ruckert works really well. You're talking about Max Williams coming on like a big year. Ruckert is pretty much Williams. So he's going to be the first tight end off the board. I know you guys don't like that much. We just don't have any edge talent. And then same thing with the corners, but you already got corners. So be happy. Enjoy it. Jeremy Ruckert's going to actually help out your run game a lot as well. Number 58, you got the Ravens. Ravens, we went offensive line for you guys, which is a great selection. I still think we could go another wide receiver, but I can't see any of those guys being the actual option. Linebacker still could be something you do look at. It's just a tough one, man. It's a tough one because I just don't know where I'd want to go with this team. Might want to go another offensive lineman, but I just don't see something that's good enough. So you know what? We're going to do a hybrid. Tight end, wide receiver, Jaleel Billingsley. I think that works. You guys are kind of looking for a tight end too. He could become your new Darren Waller. A smaller dude, sure, but he offers that bigger frame. I think he's around he's 6'4". I was thinking he's 6'3". He could be a perfect addition for this vertical passing game that Lamar Jackson is definitely improving upon. Number 59, the Packers. I don't know how the hell this happened. Jahan Dotson's here. We're taking him. Jahan Dotson helping out the Green Bay Packers. NAKOBE Dean is certainly somebody I was considering, but you got to take best player available, and Jahan Dotson is by far the best player on the board. Number 60, you got the Brownies. Brownies, I think another linebacker couldn't be too hurtful. And Henry To'o is too small. He'd be in that JOK role. NAKOBE Dean, though, man, he's small too. Shit. I didn't even realize how small NAKOBE was. That kind of sucks. But he's definitely going to be more of like a blitzing linebacker. He's been doing a really good job. But I don't know if he actually fits what this roster's looking for. Legitimately, I don't know. And if we're going to be honest, Wan'Dale Robinson might be the best choice for this team. Interior defensive line, PERRION WINFREY's here, though. I think you got to continue stacking up the interior, build that defensive line. I just can't find a legit other option without bullshitting. So PERRION WINFREY, interior defensive lineman, Oklahoma, light it up. We got the Rams sitting here, and there's nothing here for the Rams at all except linebacker. You could go to NAKOBE Dean here. I'm actually going to go Henry To'o. I just don't think the linebacker is that good for the Rams, and this is a perfect spot for Henry to come in and light it up. Again, I would love to have done more trades in this round. I don't think we did any trades, but it just naturally fell to be perfect. So there you guys go. Number 62, you got the Bills, and this is honestly where I might do my first trade because there are some talented guys on the board, right? And I'm talking about Wan'Dale Robinson on the board. So a team that needs a gadget weapon, I'm trying to find them right now. I'm trying to see what team could use them. I'm looking at the Saints. They could move up. Trying to find somebody closer to the top of the round, though. You know, it would make a little more sense if we could actually trade up with a team that really does need a gadget weapon. The Eagles already have plenty of them. I'm honestly looking at the Falcons, so legit option here. The Jets already got some. The Lions, you know, Chris Olave does something for you, but honestly, that's not a terrible idea because he works as a back as well. I mean, even the Texans could be moving up for a receiver as well because they do have short-term contracts on a lot of their receivers. Plus, the receivers aren't that great. Anthony Miller being their second best dude. Obviously, Brandon Cooks is a beast. Like, trying to find a team that could use him, you know, I don't want the Patriots to get him. To be 100% frank with you guys, I don't want the Patriots. Again, I'm looking right here pretty heavily at the Saints. You know, we got Garrett Wilson for the Saints, right? I'm pretty sure we did. We got Zach Harrison this round. That would make sense, yeah. So definitely looking right here. We could look at a team like the Chargers to try to get a guy like Wan'Dale Robinson because that's a really good gadget guy. Obviously, you know, we don't need to get any more of those. I think I'm going to move up with the Texans. Just a small trade. It's going to be pretty harmless. The Bills are just going to be moving back. And honestly, if we were doing a third round, I'd consider sending Zach Charbonnet their way. So we're going to see if we can just send a 7th round pick their way. Just say, hey, here you guys go. Get somebody at the end of the round, end of the draft, have some fun. And get Wan'Dale Robinson here. He's not getting enough hype. He works as a running back, talking about Philip Lindsay. That's why I decided to go that route. Philip Lindsay style player he was a running back at, I believe, Nebraska. And then he transferred to Kentucky. And if you saw his play this last week, he is damn good. He looks like he has 4.2 speed, and he is just crazy. Like, you guys can read all this. Please, like, feel free to pause and just, like, look at all that. He is crazy good. It's light, but he is crazy. So at this spot, number 63, we got the Buccaneers. And the Buccaneers, we already went. Best player available, Jalen Catalon. Honestly, the best player available might be a tight end, but we're going to still check. We're still going to see, hey, is there anybody worth it? NAKOBE Dean could be a really good addition to this team, though. I think as a blitzer, he could be a solid addition. Again, just best player available, guys. We got somebody in the secondary. Running back could be something we look at, like Zach Charbonnet, obviously representing my boy. I think the best value here is NAKOBE Dean, though. I do believe that offensive line, there just isn't enough. We're going to go to NAKOBE Dean to end off the Patriot, not the Patriot. I think Tom Brady Patriots. To end off the Buccaneers draft right there. I think it's good. Also, it steals them from the Kansas City Chiefs that could use someone like that. Big fan of that pick. Number 64, we got the Kansas City Chiefs. And I would honestly look at a guy like John Mechie at this point. There's another guy, Justin Ross. I think he's not getting enough hype at this point. I understand. He had spine surgery. He's not as good as he was. But, dude, oh, my God. I forgot about this guy. Next draft, we're putting in Jameson Williams because we're putting him in at the end of this round. Jameson Williams, a freaking stud. I'd be putting him probably, I don't know. Honestly, that might be a good spot for Jameson Williams. We're going to be 100% honest. That might be the perfect spot for him because I don't know if I'd take him above Jahan Dotson. George Pickens, yes, but George Pickens is an ex-wide receiver at 6 foot. I think, 6'3", 200 something? Yeah. I mean, honestly, that might be the perfect spot in terms of the rankings. So you guys let me know what you think. This was honestly a really fun draft. I enjoyed it. We didn't really have many trades in that second round, but you know what? It kind of fell well for most of these teams to where it was actually like, oh, let's scoop up the right value. So let me know what you guys think. I want to thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you on the far side. Peace.